Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 12 of What If Naruto was transported to the Justice League world. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the rest of the What Ifs coming your way over on Anime King and Anime King 3 guys, and I do hope that you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos, go check out Anime King and Anime King 3 as well guys, and click subscribe and join all 3 channels. And thank you for all for helping and support. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and if you're not, I hope I can make that a little bit better. So stay in tune and I hope you guys enjoy. So without further ado, what is we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Kurama became a god, as he now had 10 tails, and Wonder Woman took on a trait of a goddess as well, as she now had silver hair, after killing the goddess. When they went to Tartarus, Zeus had ran away, and now Kurama was acting strange. Well, there was a lot on his mind. As they boarded the ship, he spoke to Naruto. He's gonna leave, well, not forever, but for some time, as he wanted Naruto to spend time with Wonder Woman and enjoy his life. But he's gonna have to leave because he became the new god of the people that were under the President's tyranny, and they're now praying to him, and he doesn't want to disappoint them. Being a god, he got a bit of, well, different emotions, and now he was going to help them, as Naruto was standing by that. But Wonder Woman is there to pick up his spirit. So time passed as Kurama was now living as a god there, as Naruto was with Wonder Woman. The both of them spent their time together, as she also joined him on bounty hunting missions, as they did a lot of things going around different planets, making their name, as she even started to make a name for herself as well, as the both of them had became quite popular, busting drug raids, human trafficking and all that. Things were going good for them, until Dr. Fate called them. It appears that Superman had been killed. Yes, he had been taken down fighting a monster. They went back to Earth towards a funeral, as Wonder Woman wanted to see how the Earth was in right at the moment. Going back there, things were peaceful as they were mourning Superman's death, but the place was heavily scarred by the alien and Superman's battle. They had destroyed a large part of Earth. All the members of the Justice League that was now disbanded. Yes, the Justice League was disbanded. After everything, the Justice League was not a team anymore. But at least everyone came to pay their respect. But that is when Joker showed his face, as he ended up detonating bombs, laughing as he watched all of them die in front of him. Just because Superman was dead, it doesn't mean that the crime will stop. It just means more crime will happen. Supergirl had enough of that, as she used her heat vision and burst it right through his head, killing him. The other heroes were shocked, as they wanted to take her in for that, but Starfire stood in front of her to protect her, as Naruto and Diana was watching all of this, as Diana wanted to take the 2 girls with her. As Naruto asked her if she was sure about that, she told him yes. She couldn't just leave them like this. Now everyone was turned against them, as Supergirl asked them which army is gonna take her, as all of them got ready to subdue her. Diana decided to fly somewhere far, as Naruto Harashin markers are in her bracelets. So Naruto can grab the 2 girls and vanish with them because he just didn't want to bring them to his ship for them to go psychotic and think that they were kidnapped and end up destroying it. So he was going to teleport them to where Diana had gone. So yeah guys, those basically that's where left off. You guys can switch across the glitch and check out for yourself. So this is the beginning of this new episode. As the crowd of civilians ran away, as it seems like a powerful battle was going to happen, as Supergirl and Starfire stand their ground. No one had noticed the elderly couple that just vanished. It was Diana and Naruto that were transformed. as a body flickered away. Before anything could happen, a massive cloud of smoke filled the entire area. It was so dense you couldn't even see your hand in front of your face. The two sorcerers, Dr. Fate and Zatanna, created massive gusts of wind to blow the mist away. But once it was gone, the two girls were nowhere to be seen. Where are they? Several heroes shouted. The ones that were able to fly flew up in the air as they looked around, but the two girls were nowhere to be found. Dr. Fate frowned under his helmet. He knew that Wonder Woman and Naruto would come to Superman's funeral. After all, he was the one to announce them. But he had not seen them anywhere around, nor did he sense their magical power. But he was certain they were the ones that whisked Supergirl and Starfire away. However, he kept his thoughts to himself. The alien, the caterpillar, has proven on several occasions that he's not someone you want to make an enemy of. And in the first place, he was not opposed to what Supergirl had done. Unlike other superheroes, the sorcerer understood that some beings were just too far gone, and far too dangerous to be left alive. In his mind, killing countless of civilians, and laughing about it, the Joker had been one of those too. Time skip. While Naruto and Diana were traveling, and having a wonderful time going around the universe, romancing each other, not everyone was having a good time. After all, people like Batman was having a terrible time. The disband of the Justice League was short after Wonder Woman left the Earth, but it was not to say it was her killing Maxwell Lord that caused it. Well, to make things worse, people had found out about the AI, Brother, that Batman had created. Most of the members of the Justice League did not take it well that someone that was supposed to be their teammate had created a complex AI like that, just so he could spy on them. Having lost trust in two of their most faithful leaders, Batman and Wonder Woman, the Justice League disbanded within a month after the incident. With the Justice League no longer around, the crime rate skyrocketed over the past year. Without a brain to coordinate everyone, and without the Watchtower, means of transformation, the teleporter, and the spaceships, solo heroes could not deal with crime as before, as they didn't know when it was going to happen or where. They could only go back to protecting their home turf. As for regular policemen, they were out of their weight class here, facing up against many humans they didn't stand a chance and they were slaughtered. Currently, Batman was in his Batcave, studying data on the political part of the world, as the graphs were there on the crimes that were skyrocketing, also all around the world as well. In the USA, it took the army intervention to quell the rioters, but the unrest was still there. A movement was creating because of the army that was trying to quell and stop it. Going by how things look now, there was even a movement against the White House, and it seems like the other states didn't want to have nothing to do with the White House anymore. And in the rest of the world, it was even more tragic. The United Nations had isolated the most popular countries in the rest of the world, both diplomatically and economically. The UN was threatening to invade China, but China was not intimidating the least. Tensions were really high. The possibility of World War III starting didn't seem so far-fetched as before. Even in some of the countries, the army had to use lethal force against the rioters. Yes, tens of thousands of people died every single day. Civil war, riots, crimes, it was chaos everywhere. However, Batman could do nothing about it. He was but a normal man, a wealthy and intelligent person, but still a regular person nonetheless. He could not do anything significant by himself. He took off his mask as he rubbed his face in frustration. With a sigh, he operated the computer to stream Superman's funeral. Superman's death had hit Batman the worst. For him, Superman had been the most powerful ally he ever had, but he was also the light in the darkness for him. Superman showed that justice didn't need to come from the shadows always, but that justice can come from the light as well. But that light was completely snuffed out now. Only darkness remained. As he watched, as Martian Manhunter was giving a speech, but suddenly explosions went off. Batman was shocked. Joker, he screamed as he slammed his fist on the keyboard, as he watched Supergirl kill Joker with her heat vision. But Batman was not outraged by her actions. He let himself fall on a chair like a puppet whose string was cut. Supergirl words were ringing through his mind. How many times has his Joker been arrested already? How many times has he broken out? How many innocent lives would have been spared if everyone wasn't just so scared to do what to be done? He buried his face in his palms. He was one of the first to condemn Wonder Woman when she killed Maxwell Lord over a year ago. However, Superman's death and the chaos rampant in the world changed him. Supergirl's words were only a catalyst that fastened that. Lifting his face, he looked at his palms. in his eyes. His palms were stained with blood. He felt the whirl of the weight pressing on his shoulders, and he started to shake. All the people I have murdered by letting the Joker live. No more. Normally, such a thought would raise bells in his head, but at the moment he was not in his right mind. He just watched hundreds of people being massacred by the Joker and his goons. When he looked back at the screen, he saw a smoke covering the entire plaza. The next second, Supergirl and Starfire was gone. For the two girls, Supergirl had activated her X-ray vision, but she only saw a yellow-black light swirl around their head, and then everything went dark. When she finally regained her vision, she was greeted by trees. Palm trees. From the corner of her eye, she noticed something was near to her, as her first instinct was a punch. Naruto was not in sage mode, or had on his cloak, or anything, using chakra to boost his strength or anything. So she smashed her fist forward. He placed his arm in an X motion as he was sent skidding back. The next thing Supergirl knew, there was a rope that tied around her stomach, a golden rope that pulled her down to the ground. And Starfire quickly came to her friend's defense and shot a beam from her hand at the one who captured her friend. But the person simply slapped the beam right back to her with her bare hand. This time it was Starfire that was blasted away by her own beam. Supergirl tried to stand up, but Wonder Woman pulled the lasso, forcing her to stay on the ground. Enough! Diana snapped at Supergirl. As Supergirl finally took the chance to look at the person in front of her. Long, silver hair, a tall, athletic body, dressed in a white, short sleeveless dress, golden tiara, bracelets, and the rope. Wonder Woman? She said in surprise. Just then, Naruto came back on the shore as he was soaking wet. I went ahead and saved her ass, and there she goes, blasting me across the ocean. He glanced towards Wonder Woman, who was smirking. She was not even trying to hide her amusement. Not a second later, Mr. Naruto voice yelled as a missile slammed into him. Starfire slammed right into him as she hugged him in a tight bear hug. He let her hug him with a helpless look on his face. She was too honest and too affectionate for her own good. He could not bring himself to dislike her. He even patted her back gently a few times. Seeing that Supergirl was no fine, Wonder Woman untied her. I'm sorry, I didn't look around properly. I attacked first. I thought you were one of the heroes that came to the funeral, said Supergirl. I understand, don't worry. Wonder Woman waved it off. You guys came to the funeral as well? She said. Yes. Diana wanted to pay her respects, said Naruto. As his words made her eyes go wide. I thought you hated Superman. I never hated him, Wonder Woman said. We only fought because Maxwell Lord was mind controlling him. We may have not been on good terms when I left, but I never wished for his death. Superman was one of the first and few men that I respected. You know, she's the one who insists that we save you, said Naruto. Thank you, said Supergirl. But then she looked down, her expression downcast, as first tears fall from her eyes, once again reminded that he was dead. Starfire came over and took her in her embrace, as it took a while for her to get her emotions under control. When she finally get herself together, Wonder Woman spoke. I've talked it over with Naruto. You could come with us if you wanted. You too, Starfire, both of you. The two girls were startled by her unexpected offer. After what you did, they will treat you the same way they treated me, Diana said. As her tone was calm when she spoke, more than a year has passed and she has gotten over her bitterness a long time ago. Supergirl's situation was so kindred to hers, as she saw her as a wounded soul and she wanted to help her. We will teach you how to survive in the world outside. We will even give you a spaceship and teach you about interstellar travel. When I was in your place, I was lost. I thought all my friends hated me, and I thought I was all alone in the world. But we never hated you, Starfire said. We came to your apartment that day to tell you that we never thought less of you, but we couldn't find you, she said. I didn't know that, thank you. But that's all the more reason for me to help you. But then, I don't know what I would have done without Naruto. And I want to help you too the same way, Diana said. Supergirl was so moved by her words, she almost started to cry again. But then a stubborn expression appeared on her face. Thank you, but I can't leave, she said. Ma and Pa are still here. I can't leave them, especially now after Clock has passed away. I can't leave my friends either. Earth is my home. As she spoke, fire started lit inside her as she spoke with a determination. Superman gave his life to protect Metropolis and the people here. I won't tarnish his legacy by running away. I will take on his responsibilities. I will take his mantle. Now it is my turn to become the symbol of hope. I will use my strength to protect everyone, and I will do everything to keep them safe. What she meant was clear to all of them there. She would even kill to make sure she saved the innocents. Clark's fear of killing his enemies is what got him killed. I will not make the same mistake, she thought. Hearing how convincing she sounded, Wonder Woman sighed, but she did not insist. She and Naruto had saved them, but that was all they could do if they didn't want to come. They could not take her away by force, or did they want to? You don't need to stay with me. There will be danger everywhere, and we will most likely have to fight against many of our friends. Supergirl says she turned towards Starfire. And don't you dare continue that sentence, says Starfire. I promised you, didn't I? We'll be together forever. Starfire said and planted a loving kiss on Supergirl's lips. Supergirl flushed a bit at being kissed in front of two other people, but she did not pull away. But going by Supergirl's reaction as she kissed back, so the kiss was not spontaneous by Starfire part. The two girls were in a relationship. Time skip. Penny for your thoughts, Naruto asks, as both him and Wonder Woman were flying through the solar system in their spaceship. Supergirl and Starfire, she said. They have a difficult time ahead of them. However, I sense from Supergirl, in about 3 or 4 years, the Earth will be no different from what the Justice Lord dimension was. Is that such a bad thing, Naruto asks? I admit, with Darkseid impending invasion in the future, it would be better if Earth was united under one central power. But I don't know about after that in times of peace. Dictatorships and other similar control work on other planets, but it never worked on Earth. Our history is proof of that. Are you gonna stop, Supergirl, Naruto asks? Dinah shook her head. I have washed my hands from Earth when they all prosecuted me for me doing what I've done. Supergirl has her own reason for continuing the fight, but I don't. With my mother and my Amazon sister departure a year ago, there's nothing left for me on this planet. I won't participate with whatever happened there. Time skip. The chaos and conflict from Earth did not disturb Diana and Naruto's regular life, as the two of them were peacefully cooking together on their spaceship. Several perfect slice. It was like a machine had cut it, but it was none other than Naruto himself. He was not a big fancy chef, but when it comes to the skill of a dagger, knife, or kunai, he was unmatched. Next to him, Diana was watching a bunch of parsley and some tomatoes. There were also some purple alien vegetables that looked rather strange for someone that was raised on Earth, but they had a similar taste to garlic. When she was done with that, she started to peel off onions and slice them up, and threw it into a large bowl. Next, she cut a pack of veggies into small cubes. They were preparing their dinner together, a light and healthy tossed salad. Pass me the olive oil, please, she said. Payment first, goods later, said Naruto. She smiled, she kissed him on the cheek. Thank you, she said. She got the bottle from him. A few moments later, she bumped her hips into his to catch his attention. As he turned to look at her, but she ignored him, caused him to playfully slap her butt. Despite they have been living together for over a year now, they were still like this. They could not help but flirt with each other all day, even when they were cooking. She came behind him and wrapped her arms around his waist. We're not finished cooking yet, princess, he said. She pressed herself against his back and rested her chin on his shoulder, her face right next to his. Are you sure you can't wait, she asked. Don't get me started, or I'll take you on the kitchen table right here, he said. Don't threaten me with a good time, she said. She kissed his neck, but she did not take it any further as she watched him cut their some tomatoes. Time skip as they were looking over photos and videos, as Diana was pointing at cars flying overhead like a child looking over the world. As they went bowling, Diana laughing as the ice cream dripped on her cheek, before she came over and licked it off, before biting him slightly, making him bite her back. As they went into a small biting contest, Naruto using permanent marker to draw whiskers on her cheek as she sleep. A picture of the both of them breaking up their first slave ship, stopping human trafficking, and a lot more. When did you capture all of these, she asked, in awe. From their first date up until now, Naruto had secretly recorded moments of their time spent together. There were hundreds of photos and pictures, as the both of them were there having a wonderful time. Memories. They spent the next few hours browsing through the photos, laughing, kissing, and joking. From their adventures, dates, and honeymoon, although they have not yet get married. After they finished looking at the picture, they started to get busy as one of the kisses lasted a bit longer than expected, causing her to make her way over and sit right in his lap. As the both of them enjoyed their time, they weren't in a rush, just having wonderful bliss moments. Time skip as the both of them were lying there, as Naruto was holding on to her. The strange thing about it, he could not imagine a life without her anymore, and it kind of scared him. They had made love over 100 times now, and he didn't really count, but every time they did, it took his breath away. He couldn't get enough of her. She occupies every thought. In his eyes, everything about her was perfect, even her white hair. He hasn't even been tempted to look at another woman since he fell in love with her. He could not imagine anyone ever replacing her in his life. As she started to speak, "You were there for me when my friends lost faith in me. You were there to help and support me," she said. "You showed me that what I was doing wasn't living, just eating, sleeping and fighting. You showed me the outside world. You taught me how to have fun. You accepted me with my flaws too. You brought color to my grey life. You made me a woman. You made me happy. I'll always love you, Naruto. I'll love you forever," she said. By the end of that, her eyes were swimming with tears. Watching all of those videos and seeing the photos of their time spent together, it brought up so much emotion in her. Raising his hand, Naruto wiped away a tear. "Don't cry, princess," he said, as he gently planted a kiss on her lips. "I'm just so happy," she said. He chuckled with a smile. "You saved me just as much as I saved you. You saved me from a life of loneliness. It's only because of you I kept my sanity after the Black Mercy attack on my mind. It's because of you I wake up every morning happy, smiling, and content. I love you, my cute, crybaby Amazon princess." It was strange. After many things they'd done together, a few words from him could bring butterflies to her heart and her stomach. She smiled, her face glowing in happiness, as she rubbed her face against his chest like a cat. It made him laugh as she continued. It made Naruto smile. She was his lovely princess, his goddess. As the both of them ended up falling asleep in each other's arms right there. Time skip. A silhouette was making his way upside down as he was walking on the ceiling making his way. But suddenly, alarms started to blare and robots started to appear. "Damn it, Diana," said Naruto into his earpiece. "You triggered the alarm too early. I haven't gotten to the console yet. No, the blast doors are shut and the vault is crawling with robots." "Oh, I'm sorry, Naruto. I tried to be sneaky, but I'm so thick," and the clap of my ass cheeks alerted the security. One woman said from the other end of the line. That was met with complete silence. Until Diana burst out laughing. "Who taught you how to talk like that?" Naruto asked. "I wish I could see your face right now," she said, giggling uncontrollably. "I found your meme collection a few days ago. I'm so annoyed I can't see your face right now," she said. Naruto blew out a sigh and chuckled, despite himself. "You got me good, I admit, but at this rate, we're going to fail the mission. On a serious note though, it's not my fault," she said. "There are heat detectors somewhere close to the main panel. I had no way of knowing that. If anything, it's your device's fault. When's the last time you upgraded your tools? This stuff of yours is so outdated. We had an issue with it when it didn't alert us to the infrared cameras, remember?" Naruto stayed silent on that. The truth was, as she said, he had not upgraded his tech in a few years. Technology advanced at a breakneck speed. In 4 or 5 years more, his technology become outdated. The both of them were currently on a mission to steal blueprints of a new type of robot created by the Ryans, a race native to the planet Dwarf from the Untitled system. The plan had been for Naruto to infiltrate the room undetected, and then Diana would set off the alarm to cause the robot to go to the other department, where she would handle them. While everyone would be focused on her, he would steal the tool and made his way. But now that the alarms were triggered, he could no longer extract that data. Naruto himself was not a hacker. He was not smart enough for that. All the data thieving missions that he has done had been done through the use of his hacking tool. He could copy all the files and database, as long as there was no protocols preventing him from doing that. "Don't worry, I'll grab one of these guys and force him to give us a blueprint, or else. I swear I'm a bad influence on you. What happened to the self-righteous, heroic princess I met on Earth almost 3 years ago?" "Oh, shut it," she said. A few minutes later, one woman arrived with a beam that was tied up with her lasso. He was tall and very thin, almost like a stick. It had a humanoid appearance though, 2 hands, 2 legs, and a head. But his skin was grey, and he had red eyes. And he had no pupil, just pure red. "Get us inside the control room," she ordered, as her lasso glowed. He went to the panel and wrote an alarm code as the alarm went off, and the lights went off as well that were beaming. The blast door was opened up, and the 3 of them entered unhindered. There were 4 others inside, but Naruto quickly knocked them unconscious. Naruto and Diana did not use lethal force in missions that did not require them to do so, as the people working here was just regular people doing their jobs. From a moral standpoint, the 2 of them were the bad guys, performing espionage. The mind control beam uploaded all the files in Naruto devices, and with Diana command, he also erased all trace of them there, videos and such. However, to prevent the person there from suffering the consequences of their deeds, their inability to protect the blueprint, Naruto went through handstand and slammed his hand down, as on the wall, a giant nine-tailed fox appeared. As almost everyone knew about the caterpillar now. As him and Kurama had made that, their logo for years now. So everyone knew about who the caterpillar was. I think we should change our calling card. Shouldn't we? Said Naruto. True. Kurama is no golden and he has 10 tails, said Diana. Well, I was thinking about making one for the two of us, said Naruto. Kurama is not gonna wander the universe with me, like a vagabond again anymore. And it's been 2 years since you and I started doing bounties together. Speaking of Kurama, I kind of missed him, Diana said, as Naruto mirrored her feelings. As they share a knowing smile at the arrogant, prideful, and gluttony fox. Let's go visit him. After we turn in this blueprint to our employer, we'll make a stop at the OA to take our spear from the Guardians. Then, we'll go to the Vega system. He told us to give him 1 to 2 years to make order in the system before visiting him. It's been 2 years since then. That got Diana thinking about how much they have done in the past years. As she never imagined she would ever be leaving the Earth to be with the man that she loved. It was funny. Time skip. As they were back on the spaceship, as Diana was behind him. She kissed him on his forehead. Don't think a simple kiss would absolve you of your screw-up, said Naruto. My screw-up? Excuse me? It's your ancient tech that got us in trouble. Excuses. You must have lost your edge from all those escort missions you've been doing lately. Diana, face flushed at that. Those escort missions that Naruto was talking about was nothing more nothing less than glorified parades. One can even go as far as to call them dates. Princesses and queens put up mission reports as they wanted the services of the silver goddess, which was Diana. And they just wanted to spend time in her company. There wasn't any real threat or danger against their life. A beautiful, athletic body with a beautiful face and a beautiful, nice personality. Against a white fox mask with a black cloak. It wouldn't be hard to see which one of them people prefer to be their escorts. You beautiful women have life on easy mode. How is that fair? Diana giggled. After only 2 years of working with him, her popularity started to catch up with his. Well, it probably had to do with the way she looked. But there was other things as well. Well, I can't help it if I got a wonderful personality, she said. You're just a chick magnet, said Naruto. I guess a few thousand years spent as a lesbian would have made that out of anyone. Even though I set you straight, you're still giving off those vibes. Here he was again saying that he was the one that, straightened her lesbian tendencies. Seeing that she only lived with girls for so long. But she was going to take the line down, as Naruto sensed his impending doom, and quickly flashed away, as he barely managed to escape from her hands. However, the ship was only so big, as she cornered him in the bedroom. Honey, we don't need to get physical, he said. She was winding up her golden lasso. She smiled as Naruto sighed in relief, thinking that he just dodged a bullet. But it was all a ruse. Before he knew it, the lasso of truth wrapped around his midsection. His chakra was sealed. He gulped when he saw the look in her eyes. Oh, but I think we definitely need to get physical, she said. She yanked her lasso as he was pulled down to the bed. So you set me straight, huh? Let's see who straight this time, she said, as she slowly started to remove her armor. As Naruto was so memorized by her standing there, completely naked, that he didn't even realize she tied his hand to the post. As she tied his legs as well. And now you're at my mercy, she said. She pulled out her sword as she sliced up his combat suit and ripped it off of him. Oh my, she said. What do we have here? She saw his boxers getting a bit high. Quit your struggle, she said. She's still. See him trying to get away. I see that little Naruto down there wants to have a go. This disobedient little thing, she said. But things are going to be playing by my rules because I'm in control. Time skip. The place was a mess. The both of them seemed to have gone all out. It seems like he liked to be dominated by an Amazon princess. The both of them were in each other's arms, cuddling in the bed. What's wrong with us, baby? Why can't we make a child? Diana asked. With how active and passionate they was in their daily life, it was hard to understand why she hasn't gotten pregnant yet. As far as doctors are concerned, as Naruto and Diana went to different plans for different checkups, and the both of them were perfectly healthy. We've done it so many times, and without using any protection, she said, blushing a bit, as she rested her head in his chest. I don't know, said Naruto. It could be because you're a goddess and I'm a mortal. She shook her head. That's not it. There were many cases in the past where gods had intercourse with mortals and bore children out of it. I am a living example of that too. Your mom isn't exactly mortal though, said Naruto. She's like what, 4,000 years or so. My point still stands. Many of the heroes in the past came from the union of a god and a regular mortal, she said. Naruto released a sigh as his mind went to one of the most frightful moments in his life. The encounter that almost claimed his life. The thing that caused him to stop aging. The only thing I can think of is my encounter with the supermassive black hole about 60 years ago. What happened to me back then was not natural, he said. I have looked about it and researched it for years. They have men that has gone beyond the horizon, beyond a black hole for research. But there are no record of them becoming immortal because of it. You know how there is always a balance in the universe. Maybe the price for my immortality is my ability to reproduce, he said. Then what about gods, she said. Where is the balance in that? There are no downsides for being a god. Naruto chuckled. That is why gods are gods and mortals are mortals. Gods are above natural laws. Mortals, like me, as the saying goes, can't have a cake and eat it. But of course this is just my speculation since technology and, well, medicine can't detect any problem with us. Who knows, it could be very well something else. For example, it could be because I unsealed Kurama from my body when we were on the brink of being one being. You saw that Kurama's body was not perfect, you could not regenerate his chakra like before. It was only after he became a god his body became complete once again. Maybe, just like him, I also lost something once he left my body. I'm sorry, he said in a small voice. I can't give you the family you always wanted. The family I've always wanted, he said. She went up and brought his head right into her chest. There was nothing sexual about it, just to comfort him. Don't worry, baby, she said, as she kissed him on top of the head. We'll find a solution to this problem one day. Time is not something we lack. He nodded. Even if we don't have children, I am more than happy to spend the rest of my life with you, she said, as she stroked the back of his hair. Despite her confident words, Naruto's heart was not settled. He never forgot about his little daughter when he was in the Black Mercy, Thea, as it was a 10-year-long dream for him. The thought never seeing her again pained him more than words could tell. Time skip. Naruto and Diana landed with their ship on planet Mount Miyaboku, Naruto's secret planet that he used to clear his body from toxin. Over the 2 years since he left the Earth, they came to Mount Miyaboku many times. It was their own safe haven, a place outside of the known universe. A planet located in one of the clusters and far away from the other galaxies that was being policed by the Green Lantern Corps. There was a wonderful, beautiful cabin there. It was a 2-story house, yes. It was not really large because why would they need something that big? It was enough for a couple without kids, as it was built by them and Naruto's child clones. It was perfect for their needs, as they had chosen a place where the temperature was always there, as there was a fireplace always lit. The two of them would spend days just on the sofa, comforting each other and lying there. At the moment, the both of them were in a spacious field, nothing but grass. So, you're a master of cold weapons, right? Said Naruto. Not all of them. There are many weapons out there. Some of them hard to master than some. But, out of the Amazon sisters, of wielding swords, bow, arrows, shields, dagger, and whips, I was the best, she said. Well then, catch this, said Naruto as there was a poof. As he tossed something towards her, she caught it. It was an 8 feet long, bluish, mostly transparent spear. It looked like it was crafted out of crystal or glass. What is this? Duh, it's a spear, he said, a roll of his eyes. Naruto, she said. He chuckled. Okay. It's our secret weapon against the dark side. She looked at the spear. This brittle thing? As Naruto continued, it's made out of many metals, along with a radiant, a substance that is deadly to gods. She looked at the spear with new respect. How did you get a hold of something like this, she asked. A substance that could even kill gods was not something you'd randomly found at the end of a street. The Guardians of the Green Lantern gave me half a pound of radiant as a reward for the mission on Deption. They even made you a spear? How generous of them, she said with sarcasm in her voice. I know, right, said Naruto as he agreed with her. Actually, they offered to craft me a spear from radiant after I coincidentally helped 2 Green Lanterns fight off a squad of Yellow Lanterns a few months ago. At her confused look, he explained, you were away on a solo mission, as the both of them took solo missions once in a while. But as you see, it's quite strange. No one will know how to craft radiant, but the Guardians have so much of it that they even gave me as a reward. So they're basically telling you to kill Darkseid for them, said Diana, as she was not pleased by that. They were trying to use him. As Naruto shrugged, not like anyone can force me to do something I don't want to. Besides, having this spear doesn't mean much. From a Justice League fight to the dark side, We know that his reflex and speeds are fast enough to react to the flash. And he can go at the speed of light. So how exactly are we gonna hit Darkseid with this? Well, close quarter combat is always a choice, said Diana. But then she changed her mind. It is impossible for him not to recognize something that could kill him. Once he sees it, he won't engage in a head-on fight. He will just fire off his Omega beams. My thoughts exactly, said Naruto. I guess our only way is for one of us to trap him and hold him still, while the other one uses a spear, she said. Easier said than done. You saw how much magic resistance Hades had. Darkseid is bound to be a lot stronger, but you'll have your enhanced 6-path state mode on Earth. Even if it's poisonous, you shouldn't be in any fatal damage, as long as you don't stay in for too long, right? They discussed their options for a bit longer before Naruto took by the Radiant and sealed away. Then he gave her 40 other javelin that had the exact same weight, shapes, and elasticity like the glass-type Radiant Spear. As decided, I'll be the one to trap Darkseid, hopefully with the help of the other metahumans on Earth. And you hit him with the spear, so now we got to practice. He put some distance between them, and a cloak flickered around him. I'll use my 6-path state mode, my body flicker, and the Hiroshin too. Try to hit me. Wonder Woman didn't feel like he was underestimating her skill with the spear, as she understands the importance of getting to know and feel out a weapon. And they only had one try. These other 40s that she was going to use as practice were just fakes. These wouldn't do Darkseid anything. And there was no second chance the Radiant Spear would shatter after hitting the target. For the next few hours, she used everything, her skills, her goddess strength, even imbuing wind and lightning knit her chakra into the javelin. But she never came close to hitting him. When she threw them, they even left sonic booms in the air. But Naruto was just too fast. Time skip. A large city that spread over 20,000 scale miles could even be seen from space. It had a rough, circular shape, and the streets and avenues were designed in a web-like pattern. 4 large towers stood at the edge of the city like faithful guardians. They were space terminals. Tens of thousands of spaceships could be seen landing there and departing. The most strange thing about this city was, every building has at least 9 floors, nothing about that. Furthermore, a lot of trees could be seen, and grasses a lot, as flying was not an issue here, so they could transport themselves, even though the place was large. The Great Naruto City, welcome. Wonder Woman looked up towards the banner. It was a big post in the sky. As it read, the Great Naruto City, welcome. He named the city after you, she said. He must have done it as a joke, said Naruto. You know, in my first mission, when I was a kid, I saved an island from my boss, and they named their bridge the Great Naruto Bridge. Both Naruto and Diana were wearing civilian clothing, as they had no weapons and no masks. They had come to Planet Corner in the Vega system to visit their old friend. Gasps could be heard as the people at the flying bus saw them. As Naruto and Diana looked through the window, in the middle of the city, a giant castle dwarfed everything. Its height alone was over 600 feet. Compared to the rest of the buildings, the temple was like a behemoth, as a massive statue was right in the yard, as it was at least 100 feet tall with 2 beams, a fearsome 10-tailed demonic fox, and a young man with spiky hair and slit eyes, and whisker-like marks on his cheeks. Tens of thousands of people were spread all around, over the large plaza, snapping pictures and shooting videos. But there was a sense of order. No one was pushing or shoving, no pickpockets, and no one was shouting or behaving inappropriate. A feeling of reverence and holy fear could be felt from everyone. There was a golden fire in front of a statue, people writing down their wishes and throwing them in it. As they pray, after bowing deeply they leave, as others came to pray as well. A human-like being started to inform the passenger of the bus about different things about the planet. With a population of over 50 million, the Great Naruto City has been built over 2 years ago by the order of our Lord and Savior, the 10-tailed fox god, Kurama. In honor of his lifelong friend and brother, Uzumaki Naruto, it became a capital city since Lord Kurama annihilating the Pazians and the cynical empire. This planet used to be the base of the Guardian Empire, but they ran away. They were smart enough before our god arrived. The man was inscribed in his speak about talking about his Lord Kurama. As they got down from the bus, making their way towards the statue, Kurama, god of truth and destruction and justice. Naruto Uzumaki, best friend and brother of god Kurama. The group looked at the statue before they looked towards Naruto. The man that was giving lecture threw himself on the ground. "Lord Naruto," he said, in both excitement and fear. "There goes our peaceful trip," Naruto muttered under his breath. In a matter of seconds, hundreds, thousands of people started to throw themselves on the ground, bowing, as they realized the person was standing here, who was the person that the entire city had been built in his honor. "What the hell?" he whispered, freaked out by their over-the-top behavior. As they started to worship and pray to him. "Well, what is this?" said Naruto. He felt so powerful, he wondered if he entered stage mode by mistake. "It's the power of fate," Diana said. She was a goddess. She could sense the psychic energy coming from the people and entering his body. All of a sudden, something burst through the gates. Naruto could have dodged it, but he did not, as it slammed right into him. The human-sized golden fox with 10 tails. "Naruto," Kurama said, as his voice was trembling with emotions. He also used his tail to pull Diana over as well. If the power of fate had been gathering on Naruto before, this time, the people seeing their lord with him as well. It was like an ocean. But Naruto didn't care about that. He was hugging his best friend, for all he's worth, as he hadn't seen him in 2 years now. Time skip. The inside was marvelous, with different statues of God Kurama feet in battle. Naruto even saw a statue of Hagoromo in there. There was even statues of Diana as well. They both knew that Kurama liked her as well, but Diana was surprised by this. It looked like the fox god had truly come to see her as a family as well. There was only statues of people Kurama considered a family. His creator, the sage. His siblings, the Bijus, Naruto, and now Diana as well. As for Kurama, he could not quite control his happiness, as he reverted to his tiny fox form, and he was jumping from Naruto and Diana's shoulder talking excitedly what he had done over the last 2 years, as he was not acting like a god who ruled over a system with 23 planets, something that even the king, the Olympics gods, never achieved. Kurama didn't really care about that at the moment though. I saw people lighting up their written prayers in the fires outside. How does that work? Is it just a scam? Are you really getting everything they're saying? Naruto asked in curiosity. As the fox excitement had died down for a bit. Godhood is amazing, Kurama says. He took on a tiger-like form. That was his form nowadays as he sits on his throne. A boy and girl. The both seem to be Tamarinians, were waving large fans, holding the fox god and his guests. After you create a domain and karma with peoples that put in their fates, you can create a system that also rejects certain temptations, like someone praying to win the lottery or asking misfortune on someone. That will get ignored. But say for someone asking for justice or vengeance, who is completely innocent in it all, I will naturally hear his plea. Just today I killed a corrupt lawyer who had taken bribes to fail innocent clients on purpose. His client would have been sentenced to life in prison for a wrong he did not commit. A mere thought from me, and both that lawyer and the real criminal died from stroke. Even as we speak, a section of my mind is listening to my followers' prayers and solving them. Naruto and Diana looked at each other speechlessly. Diana was a goddess as well, but when she compared herself to Kurama, she realized how far below him she was. To kill someone just through thought. Well, he was being worshipped by hundreds of billions of beings. What if you kill someone by mistake, said Naruto? Has it happened before? That's impossible, he says. He waved his tails. I'm a god of truth and justice, remember? What do you mean? It's very simple. People believe that I'm the personification of destruction, truth, and justice. They believe I'm omniscient, so I became almost omniscient. The power of fate is a scary thing. It can even change a god nature if left unchecked, said Kurama. My negative sense and emotion has evolved into untold levels. I can tell anything about someone's past and what they're thinking by just looking at them. I can even peek into their future. For example, I know you've been trying to make a child for 2 years now, and I've seen multiple medics, but none of them can find a solution. I also know that Diana is hoping for a blue-eyed, blonde-haired boy with whisker marks on his cheeks. And you're hoping for a little girl with long black hair, blue eyes, with no birthmarks on her cheeks. Now that you're in front of me, I know everything about you too. I'm a god. Naruto started to laugh. If there was one thing that didn't change, it was Kurama's pride. How has life been after you finish off all of your enemies? Isn't it boring just sitting here listening to prayers? Don't you miss doing bounties with me? Well, I missed wreaking havoc with you in the past, I would not lie. But I wouldn't change my current life just for that. Countless living beings depend on me now. It's a nice feeling being needed, being respected, being worshipped, being loved by so many souls. Even after 2 years, I sometimes find myself sighing in amazement. A dangerous beast that had been feared, hated, is now being worshipped as a god. But what about you? Don't you want to settle down now? I would love to have the both of you here with me. find a nice place to build a home. You have a family to think about after all. You're not on your lonesome self anymore. As Naruto did not dismiss Kurama's words. Diana, eyes widen at that. I can't wait for your little girl to be born. Uncle Kurama would spoil her rotten, said Kurama, talking about himself in the third person. Wait, you said you can peek into our futures. Is that our future? Said Diana. Oops, that was a slip of the tongue. No, don't you dare, said Naruto. Tell us everything you know. So, it's a package deal now, said Kurama. Well, I guess I'm outnumbered, but it looks like little Thea and me will have to team up in the future to go against you guys. Hearing that, Naruto's eyes widen, as Kurama decided to stop poking fun now and tell him the truth. But guys, if you end this episode right here, if you want to see the next part, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so you posted. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.